The Dan Brady and Lewey Show, featuring Ryan,
not Louis.
New Orleans to New York.
I hope you didn't press play because this is really bad.
Okay, welcome to day 6. We've started in Nashville. Got up this morning to a continental breakfast, which was pretty good.
Waffle makers there. I was pretty happy about that.
We have rectified our washing issues yesterday.
We found a fantastic
Caravan park.
RV park.
There's caravan. There's camping and cabins as well.
Yeah, they've got tents and stuff, but it did rain a lot last night, so I'm glad we didn't camp here.
Yeah.
We come in, we did that.
The pool's got water in it.
The pool's got water in it. They've
Probably
got a
filled
lot
up
of
overnight.
a lot of washer dryers, all sorts of stuff. Brady's very impressed with the facilities here.
They got a field of hammocks.
I'm going to let him just run wild for a moment and tell you all the things that are here. And keep in mind,
Word picture.
he was very distracted. As soon as we come in, he was, oh my, look, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's this?
Like, you were listening last night. This place is very well equipped. So, where do I start? There's so many things. They got like giant chests outside. They got a pool. They got a jacuzzi. There's a guy in the jacuzzi. There's some 10-pin bowling, all outdoors. They got a field of hammocks. They got like indoors. There's like lots of tables spread out, and they've got like checkers on 2 of them, and like giant checkers. And they've got a pool table. Rubik's cubes, cards, giant Connect 4, a jukebox, ping pong balls in a vending machine for a quarter, which is good. Have you ever been to Caravan Park and have a ping pong ball? Good. I'm a fan. I am a fan.
It is a very impressive caravan park, and would love to stay here if the weather was better. But we're all booked into the hotel and nice and dry there, so probably a good call.
Good shower, comfy beds.
Good breakfast.
Yeah, we made it. A good breakfast.
Good breakfast.
But yeah, I mean, so today we're just going to explore around Nashville, check out what's going on, and then go to the mountains. It is raining. I mean, I did mention it was raining last night, but it is going to rain all day today. It's supposed to rain tonight as well, and then it's supposed to clear up on.
So we won't be
which is 2 days
camping
away.
in our tent because we'll be rafting on it.
Yeah.
I'll be at the top of the mountain. All the rain should go away, right?
Yeah. It'll be dry at the very top.
I would like to make some clarifications from yesterday about Brady's vulture situation.
Oh yeah.
So later on in the day, when we're coming down the end of the trace, which is actually the end's a really fun drive. So the road's really good, nice sweeping curves
Rally
up and down
car
the hill.
driving.
It's really fun to drive, and it was really pretty. There was heaps of flowers out in bloom. Anyway, we slowed down because we had some birds coming up across the road.
That looks very similar to the vultures I saw.
We did try to get a picture, but the camera was focusing on the wrong thing, so missed that one. But they were definitely not vultures. They were definitely turkeys. And just to clarify, Braden's earlier definition of the vulture was a bird with this featherless head. I think he might have actually said skinless, but
Either either.
These turkeys look very similar to his earlier vultures. So we might just clarify that we did not see vultures.
I've got to say that turkeys are not as ominous as vultures. You said you saw 10 vultures, and we were like, oh god, that's a bad sign. We saw 10 turkeys. That's delicious.
We did try and catch one with Gar, but for dinner, but no luck. They were too smart for us.
So it's just Ritz and fruit.
There you go. So the washing's on. We're going to have clean clothes.
Yep.
Everything's coming up.
Daisies.
Daisies. Pushing up daisies.
I was waiting for you to come up with one of your
Sign-off lines.
That's the way the daisy daises.
Yeah, let's end it here.
Alright, so we're just walking through the Centennial Park of Nashville. Just went to the Parthenon.
Life-size replica of the one from Greece.
Pretty big.
Very impressive.
Very surprising it's in Nashville.
Nashville, the Athens of the South, as they call themselves that. And as with any nickname you try to make yourself, hasn't stuck. So I've never heard that before, ever. But anyway, pretty good. Went in there, bit of a museum, bit of a few pictures and things.
It's in better condition than the original.
It is, yeah. It's a bit newer than the original.
There was some American art in there as well. Some oil paintings that were quite impressive as well.
Yeah, pretty good start to the day. And now we're going to go get some lunch. Brady's been going mad on the photos. Pretty exciting. Yep. Great input as ever.
Oh, look at this bird.
Love trying to. Oh, that's a jaybird. Blue jay.
Yeah, blue jay.
Blue jay bird.
Very pretty bird.
All right. So there you go.
Hopefully we got that rapid clicking in the background.
Yeah, you can hear the sounds of Braden taking photos of the bird. And we're going to go get some lunch.
That's peg leg porker.
Oh, peg leg porker. Party on.
So we looked up a few barbecue places because I figured Nashville was a great place to do barbecue. And one that kept coming up in people's highly recommended was the Peg Leg Porker, and it's not far from the city centre where we were doing some sightseeing, so we stopped in for a late lunch around 2.
This recording is live from the patio of the
Yep.
Peg Leg Porker.
Hopefully you can catch some of the very chilled ambience.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we walked in and we just thought we'd take it easy to start with, so we got a full rack of ribs.
Take it easy.
And the pulled pork, and they each came with 2 sides, so we got some green beans, some barbecue
Smoked
beans.
green beans.
Smoked green beans, that's right. And some
Coleslaw.
slaw and potato salad.
Potato salad.
Sat down. Brady picked up some beers. Bar staff was very friendly.
Delicious beers. They
Very
like
friendly.
Australia. They knew a guy from Perth.
Yeah. Beers were going down a treat.
Who we
Chilled
also know.
perfectly.
I
And-
bought a second round of beers, and he also mentioned the guy from Perth. So, hot topic.
But we finished it and were so impressed by it that even though we were sort of full, we could definitely go another full round. So we went back for a small second round. We decided we may as well try all the sides now. So we got mac and cheese and fries. But we decided we'd sub our pulled pork out with the machos.
That's like nachos, but with an M.
Yeah.
Macho nachos.
Machos.
Yeah. So
What's a macho, Ryan?
It was the nachos with their pulled pork, but it also came, and so that's got cheese and optional jalapenos, and it also came with the smoked beans, the smoked barbecue beans, and the coleslaw on top, and it was hella impressive.
Everything very natural tasting.
Yeah.
Definitely can't taste the preservatives and
No.
very fresh. Which is
Cannot
a nice
say
change.
enough nice things about this place. The food was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, food was out instantaneously almost.
It was like as soon as we'd ordered it, pretty much we're talking about whether to sit inside or
They
outside.
call your name Geo Collected, and
And they're really friendly.
we're still deciding whether we should go outside to if we'd be able to hear it. And as we were just, someone said that they called the name. So
I reckon I might have just said that.
And while we were doing the second course, a lady came in with her dog. And
mean
the
doggo?
owner was going to be nice enough to sit with her dog, a 4-month-old puppy, so that had a bit of separation anxiety while she went in and ordered. But we ended up sitting with the dog for the owner.
For ourselves
Yes,
as well. Mostly for our own benefit.
And then
It's a
the
poodle cross, I think.
owner brought out her order when it was ready after she came back and sat down.
As
So,
it's at.
I mean, this
Minus
place
the dog.
is just amazing. So we're just sitting here, we're enjoying the last of our second round of beers, and then we'll probably make a plan for the afternoon.
and have a nap.
Yeah,
definitely.
pretty full. All right, so still in Nashville, got back into the hotel room. We went and saw the city centre for a while.
Just had a bit of a walk around.
Saw the Country Music Hall of Fame. Didn't pay to go in.
But
$15
we
for 1
went
hour.
and had a squidgeridge in the gift shop.
Then we went to the Johnny Cash Museum. Also
Didn't
didn't go in.
Oh,
We
in the
were-
Johnny Cash Museum, there was a Johnny Cash written, similar to the Hollywood sign, out of the 9/11 steel.
The World Trade Center steel.
Yeah, the
The
Debris.
Twin
Yeah,
Towers in New York,
that was
debris
unusual.
steel.
Seemed a little weird.
It seemed weird.
Yeah.
They weren't selling it, but that was just a display item, I guess.
I just think it's
So-
amazing that the rubble formed the word cash when that happened.
Conspiracy.
Illuminati.
Anyway, so we're back at the hotel room. We're about to go down and check out the scene. Down there.
Honky.
Well,
Honky
we checked
tonk
out the
Broadway,
scene and
Nashville.
we're very excited for it.
Where it does look like it's going to be pretty good. There's going to be good,
There's a lot of good music.
good music and stuff going down there. It's very similar to New Orleans, where all the bands seem to set up at the front of the bars and have all the windows open.
There's
So
no beads.
as you can walk past, you can hear all the bands and stuff playing and seeing it. It's pretty cool.
They're all playing pretty good music.
Which
And,
reminds
you know,
me
pretty good.
of when we were in New Orleans, we went to a bar one of the later nights, and I don't know how we didn't bring this up earlier, but we were in there because we needed to use the toilet, and normally you have to buy beer and stuff. So we bought a beer, had a couple of beers, and we're just sitting there. And Ryan and I both noticed separately that there was a topless bartender, male bartender, and both didn't really mention anything, but just sort of thought, oh, it's a bit weird. And then a couple other guys, it was going like a...
It was kind of warm. I just figured.
Yeah, it was warm.
It
And then
wasn't topless warm, but I kind of figured. I guess he's moving around.
He didn't
He's
have
had a lot of beers, maybe.
He didn't have a... He was a bartender. But he didn't have
So?
didn't have a great rig, and then there was other guy with like a pretty tight t-shirt and stuff. And I thought, oh, this is a bit weird, but maybe it's just part of New Orleans, like whatever. Like I hadn't seen anything like it before, but just didn't think anything of it and went on. And then we found out later that we were in a gay bar, and the guy behind us talking to D, who was with us earlier, thought that Ryan was gay. Compliment, if nothing else, given that he's been complimented twice on his haircut while being here.
At least one of them was serious.
Well, the guy that complimented him the second time said that Brady looked like an internet adopter child
I
with
don't
a
know.
fuzzy little head.
I still don't know if that's a compliment or
It's
not.
not. It's definitely not. So there you go. I mean, looking
Damn.
back when we were in the bar and there was
That guy was selling. Well, not selling. He was trying to get
He was kind of
donations for a
a charity.
Meals on Wheels.
but
It was
he
the best
selling it.
pitch I've ever heard. Like, you know, first of all, you're like, oh, what's this guy? He just wants money. And then he, you know, came at the charity thing. I'm like, well done.
Anyway, back to Nashville.
Thank you
where
for
we
that,
are
Brayden.
now.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we had a walk down. We got very excited as soon as we saw Broadway between 3rd and 5th Street. Yeah, lots of pubs and lots of music blaring, live music coming out, all sounding pretty good. Some rooftop bars, a lot of neon signs, but I feel we just go with it.
A lot of honky tonk.
Honky tonk
Yeah,
written everywhere.
honky tonk.
Maggie, if you're listening.
She won't be listening. Why even say it? No context.
Oh, if listeners listen to the
First season.
first
Yeah,
and second
alien-
season, they wouldn't need any context because they'd know.
You
They
can't just
still would not
alienate,
know.
alienate the listeners.
Anyway, so we're very excited for this.
Maybe if you are listening, I am sorry.
We decided to come back, drop off the car, have a few drinks, and then we're going to go back in.
Watch a bit of Green Lantern was on the television.
Well,
Very,
That was-
very. I mean, there's not even in HD here, and it's
it's as bad as you remember it. Started watching
Office Party?
Christmas Party, and it seems pretty reasonable.
We were
all the
there
big
was
name
some-
stars.
There was some conjecture about what it might be called. We didn't originally know what it was called.
Had to look that up.
And there was a Christmas party happening in an office. And then Ryan said it's probably called something like Christmas Party. And then I said, yeah, I reckon probably like Work Christmas Party, something like that. And it turns out, he looked it up, the movie is called Office Christmas Party.
Yep.
Stop touching things. Sorry, Braden's just, you might have heard some clicking earlier. He picked up a carabiner, he's clicking that. My laptop was here, he started opening and closing the lid. Now he can't stop fiddling, he's fiddling with his hands now.
Dan's getting real whingy.
There's some tension coming into the
Some
group.
tension.
Brady's had 2 showers today.
Yeah, I like to be clean.
Good news, I found my keys in the car, so
Oh,
Megan's not going to kill me. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we mentioned this
I know
before on the podcast.
No one else was worried about it, but I thought I'd just cut some tension there. And this way, Megan will have to listen to the podcast, and if she yells at me, or if she doesn't yell at me, we'll know she hasn't listened.
We'll know.
That's
and if
true.
she has listened, well, we're in double
we'll,
shit.
we'll also know.
We'll also know. But we'll be getting nagged at twice.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
Very good. Very good. Oh, also the other thing I was going to say, I just wanted to touch on before we sign off to go into town. I'm sure this won't be the last recording, but I sent a link to my
No,
dad.
shame we're not going to get murdered.
You might.
I've got your EpiPen. You want a nut?
Anyway, my dad's a keen listener. Hey, Dad, thanks for listening. Number one listener, I would say, of the show, of all seasons.
I know
And
I've got 5 views on the first episode.
Ryan has watched the first episode 5 times.
About 35.
To
Minusing Ryan's off on the YouTube channel.
May I finish
Finish
this,
your story.
please? So I sent Dad a link because I wasn't sure if you might have seen it. So I said, "Hey, Dad, this is the link to the podcast, and have a listen, see what you think." And he replied with an email, and he says, "Hey, Dan, the link works fine. I've listened to a couple of minutes so far, and it sounds terrific," which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice thing to say.
I'd agree with him.
To hear from your dad. And then he went on to say, "Don't like the intro music as much as the last one, but given where you are, it was probably inevitable," which I'm not sure what that means, but it doesn't sound like a compliment. It sounds much like a negative.
I really thought he would have been for it.
Brady just tuned out to play on Snapchat. He's
really... Megan's cooked some dinner.
It's really struggling to
We
focus.
thought we better offer support to
So
eliminate
back
getting
to this
abused.
email. So he replied at the end and said, "I look forward to listening to the full recordings tonight. So thank you for taking the time to put up." So finished strong, but I've got to say there was a heckle in there, which seems to be a theme of this show this season. Is we're getting heckled, either it's from Megan, we're getting heckled from Brady, and now got a quick email heckle from Dad.
Oh, someone's got to do
I
it.
did just remember something from breakfast this morning, which goes back to Brady's "I've got your EpiPen" comment before.
Oh yeah.
But Brady went and grabbed was it a banana nut muffin?
A banana nut muffin.
So I'm allergic to, just preface this with, I'm anaphylactic allergic to all nuts, can't have any nuts. And if I have a nut, I'm going to hospital and spending at least a night there, if not dying, right?
Good
Go
segment.
on.
Segment.
So-
Great.
Brady comes back with the muffin and did you finish it or just take a bite out of it?
Right, I wasn't going to leave any remnants of nuts at the table. I was well across from the table, sanitised my hands at the toilet after I went.
And then...
And I'm impartial to banana. The nuts were just... Dan had to put up with it.
He loves bananas, and it was banana and walnut, which are the worst one. That's the one I'm worst allergic
I was
to.
well away from Dan. Everyone else in the thing closer to Dan had one, so I don't know what he's whinging about.
And then he started coughing in Dan's direction.
Into a napkin.
Anyway, so I feel this is what started the tension.
Yeah, so who in their right mind would be annoyed at this?
But
Not me.
I feel a few drinks down in Honky Tonk Town or Nashville City Centre.
Honky Tonk Broadway.
We'll sort this out.
Yeah. Should do.
Alright,
Alright.
signing off.
Beautiful.
Where's the sign-off quote?
Well, you're the one who does the silly things at the end of each segment. So come on.
I feel we can cut this from the
For what you something to do with Lent, 3 minutes and...
You didn't even remember it right, but it was good and it was
It
funny.
wasn't good enough to remember the first time. We don't need to hear it again.
That burn is the sign off. Go on.
So we're just out the front of the hotel waiting for the Uber. And we just realised that we hadn't mentioned something that happened to Braden earlier.
We're walking down the middle of Nashville, just coming off the main drag, so to speak. They're walking past I assume he was homeless.
What I can only assume to be homeless man, yeah.
Not
Not many people with jobs sit around on a Wednesday afternoon and scream at people.
Anyway, we walked past.
Some do.
And me and Dan have probably just passed him.
Absolutely ignored him.
Yeah.
I saw him, I was like, no way, I'm not engaging.
All of a sudden we hear this, "Come here, young man! Come here, young man!"
Man, young man!
Looked at Dan, noticed Dan hasn't turned his head. I was like, no, I was the furthest away, so I'm just like, I'm going to ignore this one. It's Brady on the closer side.
I waved. I aimed to please.
He was pointing at Brady, screaming, young man, young man. And then, I mean, we got away with our lives intact, but it was pretty unusual.
And surprisingly, Brady kept his virginity for that one.
Only just.
So he can still be the love of people's lives.
That's right.
Hasn't lost
He's
that.
dressed to the nines now, so he's just about to find a new love of life. But
Yeah,
I think
had the iron out for a solid 10 or 15. Still didn't do a great job.
all right. So on we go. All right. So we're back in the hotel room. Had a few beers. We had a good time in Nashville. We went out in the town. Brady is passed out.
I want to say a lot of I feel we've had a decent amount of beers in the very last.
We've had a good amount of beers. A good, solid amount of beers. And let me tell you what I don't like about America.
Brady agrees, by the way. That was that pause. Brady disagreed.
America doesn't like serving fucking beers in glasses. I don't like that. Unless you buy a bottle of beer.
Nashville has this. Nashville didn't have taps.
No taps.
They just wouldn't. They didn't have taps. Everything had to be in a bottle. It was weird.
And then, like a bottle's not too bad, but then some of them were in. So I think they had a couple of taps because I did get some in taps, but they weren't.
Oh, we got them occasionally.
They're in fucking plastic cups, and I don't know what that's about, but I don't like it.
It was a big struggle to get taps.
And then bloody
yeah.
hell, we did all that. We went through all that rubbish, and we met more Australian people, which was good. I enjoyed that.
It seemed to me a lot of Australian people.
A lot of Australians, and they asked for Australian songs, which I dug. I was behind. And then we got a fucking cab home, and we thought, good grief, I'm hungry. I could do with some food. Thought, you know what's always open? McDonald's. No, somehow in a bloody land that invented McDonald's isn't fucking well open.
Yeah, Liv Tome did not speak any English.
The guy who gives the lift didn't speak any English at all. He didn't understand anything. I Googled it briefly. McDonald's, 100% closed. All right, no worries. So across from our hotel is a fucking petrol station. Thought, you know what? Back home, petrol station, 24/7. 24/7 petrol station. You can get a pie, you can get a bag of chips, you can get something. Went over to it in the fucking pissing rain, nothing. You can't have anything. You can't have anything. So now we're back in the hotel room. We're pissed off. I'm sad. I want some food, some sort of food. Brady's passed out on the fucking thing. By the way, when we were driving home, he had the window open full bore, and we're on the bloody freeway. It was noisy as shit. I leant over, turned it down on account of Brady's eyes were closed, and he looked quite, I would have thought, unconscious. And then he fucking yelled at me and opened the window, so don't you touch my window. Like a mental case.
Yeah, okay. Lyft driver, pretty crazy. Didn't talk English at all. Awkward as shit. That was bad. But I would also like to point out that I've had both Dan and Brady disappear randomly.
In my defence, I said, I'm going to go back to that first place. And then I pointed at myself and out the door, I thought, while I walked away. And Brady was trying to chat up at least 45-year-olds. Oh. And mind you, as ludicrous as that sounds, still didn't close the deal. So I don't know what was happening.
The ludicrous thing is that everyone we tried to set Brady up with, he just didn't have a bar. And then next thing we know, he's trying to pick up 45-year-olds. That's the problem here. We set him up with...
Confused.
We set him up with 20-year-olds. We set him up with 35-year-olds, which were too old.
Quote unquote too old, because you know what, me and Ryan saw this girl at the bar, and the way she was starched, she had her ass out and a see-through top, you could see her bra, and I said to Ryan, that girl is fishing. Next thing I know, she comes over and talks to us three. She says, you three, are you guys from the same place, because you're all tall and wearing shirts? And I said, yeah, we're from Australia. And then I promptly left, anticipating some sort of further conversation, and then Brady took her up on it, and then
I involved. We kept chatting. Right. The best thing is though that Brady's excuse for I at some point excused myself and left, but Brady's excuse for not closing the deal there was that she didn't like Australian accents, which I don't care. She's just gone through 3 Australians.
Can I just say also, she made an effort to talk to us, and she didn't say that she didn't like Australian penises.
She was definitely interested. Like, Brady's done something to turn her off. And it's just bullshit. There was 100% bullshit excuse. Something's happened. Brady will wake up tomorrow and provide an excuse, I'm sure.
Let me just try and get him. Braid's podcast. You want to do some talking? Braid's podcast.
I don't believe you're getting up.
Brady. Podcast. Quick podcast. Gee, he is out. what I'm going to do now is put my finger in his belly button. Gee, he is way out. All right. This time I'm going to slap him in the face.
I don't think you woke him up.
No, he is out. All right, this time I'm going to pull his dick off.
I can
No, he's out. He's
I
definitely.
can confirm that Dan did try to grab his dick and see whether it would do anything.
He's super out.
Yeah. Anyway, but going back to the point, we kind of had Brady set up. Brady being talked to her. They seemed to be getting along, and even he seemed to be keen.
Seem to be into it.
And then he just shut it down. And when we asked him, he's like, "Oh, it's because she was 35."
Well, I mean that's conjecture. We don't know how old she was, but at least.
Well, that's what he said. But at one point when he said that, I thought he said 25, and like, I legitimately thought he said 25, and that was like a too young, not a too old. There was just no real reason to shut her down. She wasn't too old, too young, bullshit.
What you should take away from this is that Ryan and I are confused, and we're dismayed, and also hungry. I wanted some food.
Yeah, we spent the rest of the night trying to work out who we were trying to set him up with. He was then too old and too young his way. We just didn't know.
And now what have we got to show for it?
And then we got nothing. Eventually, Dan ended up bailing on us, and then we spent a good chunk of time trying to find out where the fuck Dan
Did
went.
you? I thought I told you where I went.
Well, you thought you did, but the only thing I remember of it is seeing you walk past from on the street. I was inside, and I saw you walk past from the front of the street, and threw a wave, and was like, oh shit. And then Brady had he was going somewhere, and that was it. So we went back to the second last place we were open to see them, which was just Cronkin then. But, it was half busy when we were there originally, but it was packed up there.
So,
we gave
in the
up.
end, we found each other.
Yeah. We ended
We're
up giving
back.
up,
We're
realizing, we couldn't find Dan. We thought, Dan won't be here. Ended up going back to our original place. Found Dan.
There I was.
Had a good party there.
Party.
Had a solid party.
Had some
between all
songs
three of
for
us.
the Australians, which I do enjoy when they say that.
Yeah, there was some good passing around. There was definitely we just found Dan, wanted to do something. It was found Dan, partied hard. And then eventually we decided we needed to go home.
And now we're home.
Grab the lift. And
With no fucking food because everything's fucking well closed in America, which I don't know about you, Ryan, but for me, that's not the land of the free. Land of the free will be able to order McDonald's at 2:11 a.m.
I will say worst Lyft driver ever.
Didn't
tried-
speak any English.
Tried to make conversation, didn't understand
No.
anything. Tried, I think he offered to change the music to more non-Islamic.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that's fine. But still couldn't communicate at all. Even asking to drop us off at Macca's rather than, nothing.
No bueno.
So zero help from the Lyft driver. But,
5 out of 5.
well, we made it home, so I guess that's something.
That's good. All right, we'll sign it off there. That's the end of this episode.
Brady
Thanks
would
for
love to
tuning in.
contribute.
Brady's still passed out. I'll tell you what I'll do as a gift to our listeners and thank you for tuning in and for staying with us. What I'll do now is I'll try to annoy Brady into making some response, and then I'll end the podcast. So if you hear any sort of slapping sounds, that's me hitting him, and hopefully we'll get some sort of response. If not, in the next 20 seconds, then that's the end of that, and thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,